By the end of the video, you will see how to track view item list event on your Google Ads Manager using Google Tag Manager and WooCommerce Store. This will help you track all the events that the user is doing on your category pages. First thing, we have to make sure that you have proper access to WordPress backend. So all you have to do is go to the WordPress backend and make sure to go to Users tab and then check if your user has administrator access to the WordPress backend. You need to have administrator access so that you can add plugins and update settings in the WordPress backend. Second thing we need to make sure is that you have publish access to the Google Tag Manager container. To check that, just go back to the admin section and then click on user management. Here you can find your user and make sure that you have publish access. If for some reason you do not see publish access and you do have access to the Google Tag Manager container, you can just click on the container and then select publish. If you cannot update your own permission, then you have to get back to the client and ask them to update your permissions. Lastly, you need either standard access or admin access to the Google Ads account. To check whether you have that, you can go to the admin and then access and security. Here, identify your email and then check what kind of access you have. You need to have admin access to make changes to other users. However, you only need standard access if you want to create conversion action. Great. First thing first, we need to make sure that our Google Tag Manager container is properly firing on the WordPress backend. So there are multiple options to do that. We can use that using PHP theme files, or we can use a plugin. Since we will be needing data layer events later in the video, I'm going to use a plugin for this thing. Let's go back to the WordPress backend and then go to the plugin section and click on add new plugin. This will take you to an interface where you can search for all the plugins that are available for the WordPress backend. Let's just search for the plugin called GTM for WP. Great. The first plugin that you will see is by Thomas Traeger. Click on install now, and once the plugin has been installed, click on activate. Once the plugin has been activated, this will automatically redirect you back to the all plugins page. However, if you are not automatically redirected, just click on the installed plugin section. Then click on the settings under GTM for WP. This will take you to the backend of the plugin where you can add things. The only thing we'll read right now to make sure the Google Tag Manager is firing properly is the Google Tag Manager Container ID. You can get the container ID from the same admin page where you were, and you can find the ID right here. You can copy this one, or you can click on install Google Tag Manager Container and you can also find the ID right here. Once you have copied the ID, you can go back to the plugin backend and paste the ID right here and hit save changes. Once you save changes on the plugin, there is one minor glitch that as soon as you save changes, this will make the container goes from off to on. So make sure that the container code is always on and then hit on save changes one more time. Now they should have added the Google Tag Manager container on our website, but just to be sure, let's check if everything is working alright. You can go back to the workspace and then click on the preview button. Once you will click on the preview button, it will open a temporary debug session for Google Tag Manager container. This temporary debug session will help us see what kind of events are firing on the website and what kind of events are being passed inside the data layer. You can enter the URL of your website and then hit connect. Now, once the debug window has opened your website, you can either use a Chrome extension for legacy Chrome Google Tag Assistant, and this will show you all the tag containers that are firing on the website. Tag containers usually means Google Tag Manager, Google Ads, snippets, Universal Analytics, Google Analytics, Floodlights, anything that uses G-Tag libraries. Once the website has been loaded, you can see that the Google Tag Manager container is properly firing on the website, and how you can tell is by this blue or green icon. As long as this is not red or yellow, that means everything is working alright. The ID is the same that we have uploaded. And there are multiple ways to test this through. You can also check on the debug window and you can see that this container has been loaded perfectly on the website, and we can see some of the events that has fired here. Great. Now we are done with this step. The second step is to create data layer for the view item list event. Data layer is just a JavaScript object that helps Google Tag Manager with understanding what kind of event parameters are firing, such as item ID, item name, value, currency, and all these details. To activate the data layer on the WooCommerce website, all you have to do is go to the backend and then go to the plugin section and click on integrations. Under the integration, you will find an option for track e-commerce event. Select that and select the impressions to 20. Now scroll all the way down and check this box which says clear the e-commerce object before pushing the new events inside the data layer, and then hit save changes. Just doing these two things should enable the data layer on the website. To test whether the data layer is working or not, you can go back to the website and go to any of the category pages. To visit any of the category pages, you have to open a category. But since I'm not sure which category do I have, I'm just going to go on any of the products and then go to the category from there. Let's say we have one category called bags. Let's open the bags category. Great. Now we are on this product category, which is bags. If I go back to the debug assistant window, here I should see the event, which is view item list. And since I only have one item in my category, I can only see one item inside this array. But if I had more than one item, let's say 10 items, I would be able to see 10 different items here. So now the data layer event is working fine. We have the currency parameter and we do have the item ID and we do have all the details. There is one thing missing, and that is the items value. We don't have the value here, so we will find a way to figure that. Now we can move on to the third step, which is creating the conversion actions inside Google Ads Manager to create the view item list event. Let's go back to the backend, and under the goals section, you will see conversions and then click on summary. Once you are redirected to this page, all you have to do is click on the blue button which says create new conversion action on the top left corner. Let's create on this button which says new conversion actions. And now let's create a new conversion action. Since this conversion action is coming in directly from the website, we need the website option. If you are importing this from your Google Analytics, you can use another option. Let's copy the URL of the website and paste it here. And click on scan. You can use any URL of your website, it does not really matter. Let's create a manual conversion action. And since we do not have any category for view item list event, I'm going to use others. And for the name, I'm going to name it view item list. We are going to use value for this one, and you can set rest of the settings however you need. Let's hit save and continue. Now this page will give us the conversion IDs and conversion labels. Since we are using Google Tag Manager, I will switch to the Google Tag Manager tab. Great. Now we have the conversion ID and the conversion label for this particular event. Now we have to do is create the tags, triggers, and variables that we will be needing for this event to fire properly on the website. Let's just go back to the Google Tag Manager container and start creating the tags, triggers, and variables that we need. The first thing that we need is a conversion linker tag. Conversion linker tag is really necessary and it should fire on all the pages of the website. This is a basic configuration tag and we don't need any kind of additional settings in this one. So the trigger is going to be firing on all the pages. And for the tag section, we are going to select Google Ads and then click on conversion linker. Let's rename it as Google Ads conversion linker. Great, let's hit save changes. And now we have successfully added the conversion linker tag. However, for the view item list event, we don't want the Google Ads conversion tracking to fire on all the pages of the website, right? We only want to fire it on the view item list event. So let's go to the trigger section and let's create a specific trigger that will only fire on one particular event, which is the view item list event. Just to make sure I don't make any spellings error, I'm exactly going to copy the name of this custom event. Let's go back to the Google Tag Manager container, select a custom event and paste the event name right here. This event name has to exactly match whatever the data layer says. Great, let's rename this tag to custom event view item list and hit save on this tag. Now we need to create some variables that are going to give us value, ID, currency, and all the good things. Let's go to the variable section and we are going to create first variable for the e-commerce items array. To make things easier for you to understand, I'm going to open both of these windows side by side so you can see what variables I'm pulling in from. So let's create our first data layer variable. Let's create the first data layer variable which will capture this currency item. And since this currency is inside an e-commerce object, I'm going to select e-commerce first, and then the dot notation will help me capture anything inside here. So let's keep currency. So let's rename this tag as DLV e-commerce.currency. Now we need one item for items array. So let's create that. Item is inside e-commerce.items array. So let's also rename this. Great. Now you see we don't have the value array. To create value, what we can do is that we can create a custom variable that can create value from this items array. However, instead of creating a custom JavaScript variable, what we can use is already a built-in template. To download the template, you can go to the template section and then under the variables, click search gallery. You can search for Facebook parameter generator by state. Let's add this to the workspace so we can use this variable to create different variables. So let's go back to the variable section and let's create a value variable using this Facebook parameter generator. It requires the items array. So let's select the items array, and then it needs details about the product item. We have the product details under product underscore ID. The name is under item underscore name. The price is under price, and the quantity is under quantity. Great. I'm getting this information from right here, item ID, item name, and price, and all the things. So let's rename this tag to Facebook parameter generator, e-commerce items, and value. Since we don't need the contents, we need value. I'm going to reselect the value thing, and let's hit save. Great. Now let's move to the tag section and start creating the tag which we need. So first of all, we need to select the trigger. The trigger that we have is going to be view item list trigger. And for the tag, we are going to select tags and then Google Ads conversion tracking. The first thing we need is the conversion ID. We do have the conversion ID right here. So let's copy the conversion ID, go back to the Google Tag Manager and paste the ID right here. Or what we can do is that we can create a constant variable since we might be using this same ID on multiple places. So for the optimization's sake, let's create a constant variable and rename it to GAds conversion ID. I see that I have made some spelling errors, so I'm going to fix that because spellings are not really good thing. Okay, so now it looks good. So let's hit save. You don't have to make the same mistakes as I'm doing. Now let's create a conversion label variable. So let's copy the conversion label, go back to the Google Tag Manager container, create a new variable for conversion label. Let's rename it as GAds conversion label for view underscore item underscore list and hit save. Great. For the value, we can select the Facebook parameter generator for value. We don't have the transaction ID and the currency code is at ecommerce.currency. We do have the product level information. You can either select the items array right here or you can set it to data layer. Both options are fine. We don't have customer information, we don't have website information, and we don't have shipping information at this time. So let's rename it as Google Ads conversion tracking for view underscore item underscore list. Perfect. Now we have to do the same thing for remarketing tag. So let's create new, and for the trigger, I'm going to select view item list event. And for the tags, I'm going to select Google Ads remarketing tag. We have already created the conversion ID, so let's select the conversion ID. We do have the conversion label, so let's select conversion label. Let's also set dynamic remarketing data. This is called view underscore item underscore list. So let's do that. The value is going to be Facebook parameter generator e-commerce value. So let's select that. And the items array is inside e-commerce.items. We don't have any custom information that we want to send, and we don't have user ID. So these are all the things that we need. So let's rename it as Google as remarketing view item list event. Perfect. Now let's hit save changes, and doing these things, we should be able to track the view item list event. Great. Now we can do is do a test. So click on the preview window again. So the preview session will open up, and let's open this side by side so we can see all the events that are firing. Let me open this window right here, and let me open this one right here. So let's try to go to any of the category section. For this one, let's just go to the category section of this product. So let me open this product right here, and then let's open this category, which is the LED. So once the user goes to this LED section, we should be able to see view item list event, and then we can do a test to make sure everything is working all right. Now we are on this LED page and we are on the category page right here. We can also see that the view item list event has fired, and this has all the details that we needed, such as currency, items array, and all the good things. It has also fired the Google Ads conversion tag and the conversion remarketing tag for Google Ads. To verify this information, we can also see the same thing inside the Google Tag Legacy Assistant, and we can see we have the conversion value that is coming directly from the variable. You can see that value from the variable section, and we have this value right here, which is Facebook e-commerce variable and ID, and this is the ID of all the items that are there. And we do have the currency parameter. If you want to see more information what we are sending, you can go to switch it to URL and then select this option, which will parse the URL array, and you can see that we have all the details of the items right here. Great, now everything is working all right, and now we just need to make sure that all the changes are not in the debug mode and they are actually published. So let's create a container name, Tracking Academy G ads view item list, and let's hit publish. Perfect. If you want to see how you can track all page view events on your Google Ads account, you have to watch this video.